Oh, Lion's Arch, you have such a long loading screen. Do you like that, guys? That's my Halloween voice. Okay, hello everybody. 2 days ago, in the last Q&A that we did, I was talking a lot about going to the fort in Brisban wildlands, and a lot of people were saying, hey, you should have shown footage of this. This would have been really cool. Also, the last map breakout video I did went down really well, so hey, I'll do it here. Usually, I don't enjoy these kinds of videos because I don't want to get them nerfed. You know, there's a bit of a community for people breaking out these things, and you do a video about it, and you know, I'm not saying ArenaNet would necessarily see it, but it is one of those things where some people like to keep these things close to their chest. However, I know of loads of different ways to break out of Brisban now, so I'm just going to show one, and there'll still be options there for those really keen map breakouters. And that's half the fun, isn't it? Figuring new ways out. So, whatever. We're going to do the video. I'm going to show you some very cool stuff in Brisban wildlands. I'm starting off in Lion's Arch, though, to retrait. I almost did a video today where I talked about this Elementalist Staff DPS build. I might do it in the future, I don't know. I proper maxed out as much DPS as I could, like, and it was still only vaguely fun. So, anyway, what you're going to want to do, if you're an Elementalist, to make things really easy for yourself, go 30 Arcane, it doesn't matter why, you're just doing it for the cooldown, and go 20 Earth, take Stability on Earth Swap, this Rock Solid trait. Then, I guess, for the other slot, what would be useful? Then go 20 into water for full damage. That's pretty much perfect as a map breakout build. There you go. This video's got all the stuff that you want on it. So that's what you're going to want for your build. You could probably just go 20 Arcane and it would be still pretty good. And what we're going to do is head on over to the Brisban wildlands to show you guys how to break out of this map. In particular, first I'll show you where we're aiming to go. We'll do the bridge one first, and then I'll show you how to reach the areas. Alright, owing to the fact that I just loaded in here and went the complete wrong way, I'm going to redo that whole section. So, this video is going to feature heavily, many map breakouts do this. I might do a video sort of for general map breaking out tips at some point. But this is going to prominently feature the experimental rifle. This is a weapon that you can buy in Malcor's Leap to the south. You want to go to the lights waypoint. I may show this in the general video, but here, look, the lights waypoint here. You're going to move to the south. There's an event there to do with risen chickens and an inquest. And an Asura there. Once you complete the event, you will be able to buy these consumables. It's funny because I did a video, like a video series on consumables, but never actually talked about this specific one. This one's really useful because it gives you a ground-targeted leap ability at 900 range. Very, very good for breaking out of maps on classes that can't generally do this, and it's got a longer range than even engineers get when they trait for it. So very useful, pretty much a necessity for many breakouts, and the trajectory on this allows you to make some really vertical leaps, which this breakout is going to show you in a really nice way. There is another item as well, which is useful, the experimental teleportation gun. It's another leap at the same sort of range, but you can't ground target it. The benefit, though, is it creates a portal for your friends if you've got any that are coming along with you, and this doesn't backfire. The experimental rifle is really nice, but sometimes it will backfire, and that's why I've chosen the build that I've currently got, and I'll explain that when we get to it. Anyway, so in north of Brisban, there's this bridge. Can you see this? And over in the distance, there's a portal. Very cool, but we can't get into the portal. Why is that, you may be wondering? What was ever meant to be there? That's what I was talking about in the video I did, the Q&A. And I guess we can go have a look for ourselves, can't we? If I press M, if I get away from these bandits, we'll just auto-run. You can see up here, there is no zone. There is no equivalent zone, but it does sort of look like there could be a square zone there. Very exciting prospect. And you can actually break out of the map very easily first to find this. So what you're going to want to do for this specific one, to have a look at this portal, we're going to come over to these. Actually, I don't remember 100% how oh yeah, I do. What you're actually going to want to do is, if you've ever done the guild missions, you want to go to the Gallowfields waypoint, which is where there is one of the guild missions, guild puzzles takes place, just down there on the right. But instead, what we're going to do is walk over to these trees. It's been a little while since I've done this. Maybe I should have been more sure of myself before I actually started filming the video. Pretty sure it's this tree. We're going to climb up. Pretty sure. And what we're going to do is leap now over to that ledge. Now, you're always going to have to ask yourself, do you use the experimental teleportation gun? Apologies for the messy inventory, by the way. It's Halloween, what can I say? You're going to decide, do you want to use the experimental rifle, which could backfire, and, like, it throws you backwards when it backfires, which is just terrible, or can you more safely use the teleportation gun? I'm going to say I can use the teleportation gun here, so we're going to press 1 and land over on this ridge. And there we go. That's pretty much the map breakout straight away. ArenaNet are really smart about the way that they do invisible barriers in their zones. Incredibly smart. So oftentimes you will find that you're just being blocked by an invisible barrier and have no idea of how to get around. But there are often a lot of holes in said barriers. A really nice way to determine where those barriers are is to use ground targeted abilities. And if you're trying to use a ground targeted ability through an invisible wall, the ground targeting won't appear. Actually, I think they might have patched that really recently, in which case that might not work anymore. But the ground targeting usually is a really nice way to explore outside of maps. I actually do a lot of this with a guildie of mine who I'm kind of considering maybe if he's up for it where we could put him in some of the videos too, because he's really smart about it. And we've done a lot of stuff like in Queensdale, actually moving on top of the invisible walls, would you believe it, using elementalist conjure weapons to mark the way. Very exciting idea. Another obvious thing that you need to watch out for when you're breaking out of maps is invisible terrain. Sorry, my mouse is bugging out. Is invisible terrain, so you've got to be careful of that. But basically the whole idea of this breakout is you just, if we want to go to the bridge, we just sort of slide along the top of this wall. I probably should be a little bit higher up at this point. Otherwise, I might just slide down to my doom. Or we could be too high up, I'm not sure. And we'll get to the bridge, and then you can just have a little bit of an explore on the other side. Now, as I explained in the Q&A video, can we get to the top of this ridge here? That would be mighty useful. Oh, my mouse is making me cry. So annoying. I'm sorry if the footage is horrible here. I can't move my camera properly. So there we go. There's the portal just there. As I explained in the video, portals like this, ArenaNet don't have huge hidden maps in the client that are just needlessly there that players aren't meant to access. So sadly, the portal will do nothing. We can drop down on this side, but can you see how I can't walk through here? It's because there's an invisible barrier. And yeah, they did patch it. It used to be that if you tried to ground target behind a barrier, it would disappear, and you could use this to determine where the barriers were. That means some of our old techniques might be a little bit more tricky to use. But yeah, and now I'm stuck. But there you go, that's the portal, guys. This one isn't really the great breakout. That's the portal on the other side of the bridge. You can drop down. Apologies that I never got to the other side of the bridge properly. The other one that's far cooler than the main thing that I want to show in this video is over at the Triforge waypoint. Triforge, this whole area is basically a slide joke at the Holy Trinity. So this entire area is about, it's got an event where you fight, basically, the idea in lore is cool as well. It's like a sort of a unification of lots of different groups, and I've always liked this camp. I love this whole area of the world, especially in Guild Wars 1, Dry Top. Oh my god, Dry Top, guys, was the most awesome thing in the world. But over here in this corner of Brisban, where admittedly there's not really anything to do. If you think about it, there's what, 1 heart and a point of interest to get, and then you just sort of ignore it forever. And it's quite a large plain with some cool stuff. It seems like this would have been an interesting area for a meta event, but of course we've got Skritzberg in this map and all sorts of other jazz which fill up their meta event quotas. But here you can see off in the distance there is a giant fort. Inside this fort is another portal to another zone. So there's 2 in Brisban that do this. And unfortunately, though, people used to be able to break over, I believe, but at one point ArenaNet patched it, so there were 1 million champion level 80 bandits up there. We're only level 24 at the moment because we're scaled down. So even if they weren't champions, they would kick our behinds. But as it stands, like, they will just kill you if you get onto any of the walls through any conventional means. So we're going to do a big breakout that starts in a totally different area of the map. And that different area of the map would be... Actually, we can go to the same waypoint, I believe. What we're going to do is go to this inquest base here, the Thormacore Inquiry Center. And as I say, there are lots of ways to break out. This is just one I want to show off because A, it's pretty easy, and B, it... excuse me, oh my god, I thought I wasn't ill anymore, but apparently I still am. A, it's kind of easy, and B, it shows off what the experimental rifle gun can really do, because it will move you over certain jumps that you just would be so surprised to find out that it's actually capable of. So here's the base, and as you can see up there, there's like a bridge above the base. Now, this is just kind of a cool place to break out anyway, because I've always seen this bridge before I first ever broke out of this. I've always seen that bridge and wanted to go up there. You know, it looks like a big complicated area, but really you can only travel around in certain areas on the floor, and it's a bit of a shame. However, with some cunning use of the experimental rifle, you can climb quite high, and here's where I'll show you how my build works as well for this. Now obviously I'm only playing Elementalist, there will be other classes and other ways to do things, but you're going to want to come to this area and climb on top of first this tent and then this, right? You may want to kill the inquest. Do we want to kill the inquest? We probably do. As I said, I'm showing most of this stuff. I don't claim for discovering this. This one in particular I was definitely shown by a guildie friend of mine who, as I say, is very awesome at this kind of stuff. And now I just want to share with you guys. So we're just going to kill these as quickly as possible. My build, of course, is totally balked because it's all for just climbing and breaking out of maps, and usually there's no enemies to fight. There we go, right. So climb on top of this tent, and this looks like it's way too high to jump onto, doesn't it? That pillar over there? Way too high. Well, this is where you really get to see the beauty of the experimental rifle. If you stand on this one here, pop your rifle, you can ground target at the far side of that pillar, and you'll actually be able to get up. Now, there's a chance that it will backfire. This is where my build comes in handy. If you swap to Earth Achievement, that will give us stability and actually mean that it won't backfire, as far as I'm aware. So, if we go get our stability, ground target, and we're pretty much guaranteed to get up. Even if it does backfire in those situations, the nice thing is we're not going to go flying back. See... This next jump we have to make is onto the center platform over there. Now, if it backfires, it's going to throw us all the way off. We're going to have to go back on the tent, back onto this thing, and back up here. And it gets worse. So, you have to be really, really lucky. Basically, there's a, like, 1 in 3 chance, that, or it could even be a 50-50 chance, that Shadow Leap will backfire on you and blow up. And the greatest thing about being able to just quickly have these short bursts of stability on this class is that you can sort of get around it very easily. The reason we're 30 Arcane is so that my Earth Achievement itself recharges quickly if I forget to use it. So here we go again. We're gonna use the ground target ability somewhere over there, and we're gonna come up. We're gonna hit our stability just as we go. Now where do we go from here? These are too high to jump on top of, as you can see. Like, there's no way we. Wow, it actually looks like I glitched up there for a second. There's no way you can really get up there, though. And there's not much else we could jump to. We could maybe jump over there. That's not going to get us much of anywhere. So what are we meant to do? Well, again, this is the beauty of the experimental rifle. This time I'm going to swap in time. This is the beauty of the experimental rifle. We can get on top of these. Would you believe it? We can get on top of these. I swear to God, we can. So, and what we're even going to do for a regular class, maybe, is stand here. So if we do backfire, we just fall into this pillar. And what we're going to do is we're going to ground target directly on top of it. It might not work the first time, but then we're going to jump on top. And look at that. It's fantastic, isn't it? I'm scared that inquest technician down there is trying to kill me and has put me in combat. But now from on top of this, you can probably see where we want to go. We're going to go on top of that roof. This is a series of very dodgy jumps, and if your rifle backfires during any one of them, usually you're going to get sent down to the floor. Like, if it backfires again now, we're all the way back down, like, kind of thing. So it can be, it's something you've definitely got to keep your eye on, and maybe it's kind of lucky for some classes. Like, think about Ranger trying to do this kind of thing. What have you got for stability? You've got your Elite. Now, the Elite's really long duration, but the cooldown on this is 30 seconds, which just so happens to be just outside of that cooldown, so outside of the duration of the Elite. So it's kind of annoying. All of them are kind of annoying. So we're going to do this. I don't like how swapping that... see, and then I messed up, and I fell down. So we're going to have to try that again. I will cut it until I'm back up. And sometimes you just got to accept that this kind of stuff happens. I'm actually going to kill that inquest guy as well, because I might have failed that because I was in combat. Okay, this is attempt number 3 coming up here. I've decided to go onto the other pillar to the side, just in case I was on the wrong one. Here we go.
I command stone and soil.
There we go. I think I was probably on the wrong one. So you can jump up onto this tiny little edge of the cliff here. And now we're actually in an area that is still, like, designed or whatever by ArenaNet, but it's completely somewhere we're not meant to be. So this area has no collision. You'd expect these have no collision, but they actually do, which is kind of odd. Like, you never know when you're in areas like this what exactly has collision and what doesn't. But if we just travel around, you want to be careful of holes in the floor. You can actually cross this bridge I was talking about. How cool is that? That bridge is just like right here. You can go and explore many of those different areas, but the whole point here is to try and get to the fort. That's why I quite enjoy this breakout compared to others. Like, this breakout is quite a fun one because there's just so much cool stuff to see on the way, like on the top of the inquest facility first, and then like you make more progress along. So what we're going to do is there's a way onto the cliff side. This is the one bit that sort of escapes my memory of exactly how we get up. But from on top of here, we're going to just scour the cliffs and what is traversable terrain and what is not. So this all has collision, interestingly enough. So that building is like real. Oh, we're actually stuck inside like a little cubby hole here. That's interesting. Maybe we need to go onto that wall over there and then climb up from there. That looks like what we're meant to do. So this would be a good opportunity to demonstrate to you guys the benefits of the other weapon. Like, I've got to wait on my Earth achievement cooldown here if I want to use the experimental rifle. Instead, I can go to my experimental teleportation gun, hit the skill 1 on it, and fling myself over the edge and into a hole that I can never get back out of. No, I'm okay. So you can do that to make certain jumps when your cooldown maybe wouldn't allow it, or you know it's a surefire jump and you don't want to risk backfiring. Now, as I say, by giving yourself stability, you are removing the possibility that it will ever backfire. Like, I've never had it while I've had stability on backfire at the same time. So, like, you should be okay if you just have something like this. And Elementalist, I feel like, is optimum for this reason. And also further because of the conjure weapon trick you can use on invisible barriers to create paths across nothingness and make crazy jumps. Like, we've currently got a goal where we're trying to get on top of... what's it called? Jesus, Divinity's Reach from within Queensdale. Use it by getting like under the map and then like doing a void jump or getting close enough around the outside. And you know, this stuff is possible, and a void jump I'll have to explain in another video. This stuff is possible only by like traversing this huge gap near the barrier to one of the zone entrances to Keswick's Hills, where you're just literally, if anyone were to watch you, they'd think you were like fly hacking or something, and you're totally not. It's just that you're stood on invisible terrain, and it's fantastic. It really is. So I've got to be careful here. This has no collision, as you can see. So you're always going to want to move your map through just to be sure and scout areas out so that you know you're not going to like fall to your death the second you go to the other side. Whenever there's like a terrain change, like this one here as well, there's no collision there. And I seem to be sliding down now anyway, so we might not have a choice here. I think we do have a choice. Now the reason why we do this, as I said, there's many ways to get out. I'm not going to harp on about it. I think we should just go through the terrain and hope we get lucky, because I know you can get there. I've done it before, but it was a while ago and I don't remember specifics from here on out. So we're going to just slip in. We near the invisible barrier. Is this terrain? This is real terrain. Thank you very much. And this. There we go. So now you can see that the champion, this is the payoff. This is the final bit. You got the champions just there. You obviously want to steer way the hell clear of them. You don't want to go anywhere near them because they will kill you very, very quickly. It's probably how I end this video. But you notice that this fort is huge. They're only on that little wall there. The fort is massive. You can come all the way back here. And as I explained in the Q&A video, it's like architecturally unique. You don't see forts like this or layouts like this anywhere else. And as you can see, if we climb into the fort now, so again, another experimental rifle will be in order. The rifles are like a silver each. They're actually kind of expensive for what they are, but you want to do it. So now we are actually on top of the fort, nowhere near the champions. And here you can see this is the second portal, well hidden. In the very background, we've got a thing. And, of course, you cannot walk into it, which is a bit of a shame. There are these big rooms, though. Look at these rooms. Huge, huge areas that maybe this type of fort is shown somewhere else in the game. But we just don't get to see it because, like, it's not scaled. Well, you don't get to see it like this because it's not scaled up so much. Like, quite often you'll see things that are just scaled massively. There's boxes here, crates with culling on them, which is very odd. We can come over here too, and there's another giant room. Nothing in them. I think there's, like, some crates in one or two. But what gets interesting here is it's not just an area to another zone, but there's an Asura gate here as well. We're still safe at this section of the fort. The champions are all the way over there. But if you have a look over at this area of the fort... And I like that they put the champions there instead of just making this, you know, an insta-kill zone or an insta-teleport away zone. That would have sucked. But over here, there is a way out. Hold on. Oh, dear. Okay, I didn't want to do that. Oh, don't tell me I'm stuck. Don't tell me I'm stuck. Oh, I'm going to have to go all the way back now. I'm going to have to go all the way back so that I can show you guys this thing. Oh, unless I can, like, experimental rifle out. Again, experimental rifle may save the day. Hold on. So we're going to like aim as far away as possible. We're going to give ourselves stability. Jump over there. There you go. Yeah, oh my god. Experimental rifle got me out of that. So yeah, now we're in very dangerous territory. I'm actually going to equip my focus because if you're invulnerable, it doesn't matter how high level they are. And also you can reflect projectiles back at these guys. But over here in this section of the fort... Uh-oh, he just said you're dead to me. Uh-oh, uh-oh. There's an Asura gate. Check it out. Which again is completely inactive and it won't do anything. I thought I'd pulled aggro on the champion there, but I hadn't, so I'm okay. But check it out, there's an Asura gate. Would this perhaps have... Oh my god, yeah, I am being shot at. I'm being shot at, wow. Would this perhaps have one point led back to Lion's Arch? Who knows? The champions will come and chase you, and they will kill you when they eventually get to you. You can stand in like one position to break aggro from them, because basically they'll try and path properly through the fort. But yeah, these guys just one-shot you. That's about everything, guys. That's it here in the fort. Sorry if this was a little bit weird to see, like, because I got stuck there. But this is the fort in Brisban. It's one of the cooler breakouts that you can do in the game. This is one specific method at that inquest base. There are many more. Thank you very much for watching, and be sure to just have fun with it. Go get yourself some experimental rifles. Most zones have got somewhere you can break out of. The most fun ones are the earlier ones ArenaNet designed, because they have more, like, invisible barriers and curious things you've got to do to get around. But yeah, it's like a full game you can play within the game, and probably one of the things I've spent most time doing in Guild Wars 2 lately, outside of like living story stuff, honestly. So yeah, let's see what we can do with these bandits, shall we? I'll pop a swirling aura so that any projectiles they do throw get missed. There you go, a full 2 damage to him. This poison is going to come at me, and if you stand here, he will be able to path all his way around. That's just the gate over there. And if he uses any range attack, I will try to reflect it back at him. And there we go. Yeah! 300 damage to a champion level 80 bandit. I feel pretty good about that. I do feel like if you've got a full guild here, maybe you could actually do some work. All you need to do to kill one of these guys is have 5 Ellies and just cycle carefully through Swirling Aura, and then everyone else just keeps attacking them for hours and hours and hours and hours. And if you do it perfectly, you can probably kill a champion bandit. Man, I'd love that. That'd be such a good video. Anyway, guys, we're getting a bit long here. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good one. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. See yous. Bye!